Two people earn $80,000 for 20 years. One builds $800,000 in wealth. The other one has almost nothing saved. Same income, completely different results. The difference comes down to 10 specific habits that research shows block wealth building. And if you're making decent money but not building wealth, you're probably stuck in at least three of this. I'm Toyin, a CPA and financial planner here in Canada. I'm glad you're here. Today, we're looking at 10 habits that keep people from building wealth. These aren't small things like buying coffee. These are bigger patterns that researchers have found actually stop wealth from growing. The good news, once you see these patterns in yourself, you can change them. Habit 1, choosing today over tomorrow. Let's start with the biggest one. Our brains prefer rewards right now over rewards later, even when waiting would give us way more. Here's what this looks like. You have $5,000. You can spend it on a vacation today or invest it. The vacation feels real. It's happening now. But that $5,000 invested for 20 years at 7% becomes $19,000, almost 4 times your money. Yet, most people pick the vacation. Why? Because our brains are wired that way. The future feels fuzzy. Today feels real. If you're earning $80,000 or $120,000 and wondering where your money goes, check this pattern. The new couch, the upgraded car, the trip, they all feel more important than future wealth because your brain tricks you into thinking that way. Habit 2, avoiding your money when you're stressed. Here's something researchers found. When people feel stressed about money, they stop looking at it. They don't check their bank accounts. They don't open their statements. They don't add up what they owe. This feels safer in the moment, but it stops you from fixing problems. You avoid logging into your accounts because you don't want to see the balance. You don't track spending because you feel like you make enough and shouldn't need to. The problem? Small issues become big ones. You miss fees. You don't notice your savings dropping to zero. You can't fix what you don't look at. Habit 3, treating different money differently. Here's a weird thing people do. We treat money differently depending on where it comes from, even though a dollar is a dollar. For example, you get a $3,000 tax refund. You spend $2,000 on a trip, but you're also carrying $8,000 on your credit card at 21% interest. That makes no sense mathematically. That $2,000 should pay down debt, but we think of the refund as extra money and the debt as normal money. So we make a bad choice. Or you keep $20,000 in savings, earning 2% while you have a car loan at 6%. You're losing 4% every year because the savings feels safe and the loan feels normal. But you're actually paying money to feel that way. Habit 4, spending every raise you get. Research shows something interesting. People at all income levels save about the same percentage. Why? Because when you earn more, you spend more. Someone earning $60,000 spends $55,000. They get promoted to $120,000. Instead of saving the extra $60,000, they now spend $110,000. Bigger house, nicer car, better restaurants. This is why lawyers making $180,000 sometimes have less saved than teachers making $80,000. The lawyer has a $7,000 mortgage, $1,200 car payments, and $3,000 in other monthly costs. The teacher kept their housing at $3,000 and invested the difference. People who build wealth see every raise as a chance to save more, not just spend more. Habit 5, buying things so others can see them. People spend way more on things others can see: cars, houses, clothes, vacations you post online, than things others can't see, like retirement savings or investments. This gets worse when you feel the pressure to look successful. If you work in a field where people expect you to look wealthy, you might spend $60,000 a year on visible stuff while only saving $12,000 a year. Here's the problem: the things people can see lose value, the things they can't see gain value. An $80,000 car loses $20,000 in 3 years. $80,000 invested gains $20,000. Same starting point, opposite results. Buy nice things if you want them, just know the trade off. If you're buying mainly so others see it, you're trading your future wealth for present status. Habit 6: spending what your friends spend. This is related to number 5. People spend based on what their friends spend, not based on their own goals. If your coworkers drive $70,000 cars, you feel like you should too, even if it means you can't invest. Research shows this especially affects houses and cars. You don't buy what you can afford and still save. You buy what your friends buy and stretch your budget to match it. People who build wealth ignore this. If your goal is $1 million saved by age 55, that's your North Star. Every purchase gets measured against that goal, not against what your coworkers buy. Habit 7: not investing in your skills. Research shows that investing in skills pays off huge over time. But people avoid it because costs feel painful now. This looks like skipping professional courses that could boost your salary, not learning skills that could advance your career, avoiding starting a side business because the startup costs scares you. Say you're making $85,000. A $3,000 certification could bump you up to $100,000. That's $15,000 more per year. Over 20 years, that's $300,000 in extra earnings, not counting what you'd earn by investing some of it. But the $3,000 feels painful today. The $15,000 raise feels uncertain and far away, so people skip it. Wealthy people invest in their ability to earn more, not just in stocks and bonds. Habit 8: using buy now, pay later and carrying debt. New research shows that people who use buy now, pay later services are way more likely to overdraw their accounts and carry credit card balances. Those interest-free payments trick you into spending 20 to 30% more than you normally would. Bigger picture: if you're paying $4,000 a year in credit card interest, that's $4,000 that could be invested instead. Over 20 years at 7% returns, that's $164,000 you're paying to credit card companies instead of keeping for yourself. I see high earners carrying surprising debt because income makes the payments manageable. But making payments doesn't build wealth. Eliminating debt and investing that money does. Habit 9: ignoring your health. This one surprises most people. Long-term research shows that poor health habits, being overweight, smoking, not exercising, lead to less wealth later, even when controlling for income. Why? Poor health costs more money and makes it harder to work. And money stress makes your health worse. Your body is what earns your income. Neglecting it has real money consequences. If you're working 70 hours a week to earn more, but skipping sleep, exercise, and not eating well, you might be hurting your ability to earn long term. The executive who burns out at 52 stops building wealth. The one who stays healthy can work into their 60s if they want. Habit 10: never being generous. Here's some interesting research on generosity. People who spend money on others tend to be happier and often earn more over time. People who are generous build better relationships, and those relationships create career opportunities. Being stingy, never picking up the tab, never giving to causes, never helping others can actually limit your opportunities. The wealth you miss from a job opportunity someone doesn't tell you about might be way more than the $50 lunch you didn't want to pay for. I'm not saying be reckless. I'm saying strategic generosity. Being someone who helps others usually creates more opportunities than only looking out for yourself. You don't need to fix all 10 habits at once. Pick the two that hit closest to home and start there. Maybe you realize you're spending every raise, so you commit to saving half of your next one. Maybe you're avoiding looking at your money, so you schedule 1 hour each month to check everything. Maybe you see you're buying things for status, so you pause before your next big purchase and ask if you really want it or just want others to see it. Small changes add up massively over time. Someone who fixes 3 of these habits doesn't build 10% more wealth. They often build 3 times more wealth over 20 years. That's the power of changing your habits. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to recognize what's blocking you and make a few key changes. So tell me, which habit did you recognize in yourself? Drop a comment below. And if you want more practical money strategies for Canadians, subscribe to this channel. I'm covering this stuff every week. I'll see you in the next video.